Will the Venom movie be rated PG-13 and not R? There's a ton of new stuff to talk about when it comes to the Venom movie. We're breaking it all down. This is the Nerdy News Rundown. Let's get you filled in. Guys, it's Friday, and on every Friday, we give away one of these mugs to someone that shared the video. This week's winner was Erica Stone. Erica shared out one of the news shows on Twitter. Erica, hit me up on the channel, on social media, give me your shipping info, and I'm sending you out one of these mugs. All right, so let's get into the news. According to Variety, Sony executives are changing the rating for the Venom movie. This movie was supposed to be rated R, and now it's going to be PG-13. The initial report comes from Variety, but it's being confirmed by a ton of different trades out there. Sony is actively looking to make the Venom movie rated PG-13. And you gotta ask yourselves, like, fucking why? There are two main theories and two things being reported on as to explain why Sony would make this kind of a move. Number one, the tracking for the Venom movie is incredibly low. According to whatever resources create these tracking numbers, Venom is literally coming in at less than $50 million for an opening weekend. And so a lot of people believe that due to these numbers and the projections, Sony's like, whoa, let's make it PG-13. Let's get some more younger people in there. Let's push this out for maybe some families and stuff. Let's tone it back a little bit. And that kind of makes sense. I mean, that's always sort of why studios go PG-13 when they can. It's just more of a mass audience. It really helps drive some traffic. However, the whole idea with this Venom movie was that it was going to fall in line with the Deadpool movies and with Logan. It had that kind of a vibe and a feel to it. So it sort of feels a little bit weird that now they're going to pull back on this. Now, another reason being reported out there for the PG-13 rating all has to do with Sony executives believing that if the film is too dark, it will make a crossover with this character and the MCU more unlikely. So basically, this implies that Sony executives are still really wanting Venom to cross over with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and they think if they make it too hard R, it's a no-go for Disney, it's a no-go for the MCU. Now let's follow this train of thought a little bit here because it's very interesting. Marvel has done a lot to disassociate itself with the Venom movie. They've said repeatedly it is not in the MCU. In association with Marvel came over rather than the normal Marvel logo in the trailer. And it just really seems, if you look at some of these moves, Kevin Feige and his whole team over there is like, no, Venom's over there. The MCU and Tom Holland Spider-Man are over here. I remember originally covering the Venom movie. I mean, I'm talking about the day it was first announced that Tom Hardy was on board and that this movie was going to be a thing. I originally thought this was a move by Sony just to put more chips on the table for when they re-sign the Spider-Man contract with Marvel. That contract is 6 films. It's going to be over relatively soon, and Sony and Marvel are either going to have to re-up that arrangement or Spider-Man goes right back to Sony and Marvel no longer has access to that character. At the end of the day, this would be a bad situation for both studios as the Spider-Man Homecoming movie made a ton of money. A lot of merchandising has been pushed because of Marvel's taking over of that character. In fact, you could even make an argument that the Venom movie itself and Into the Spider-Verse would not be as successful had Marvel not reinvigorated the love in mainstream media for the Spider-Man character. But I originally thought that this move was just sort of leverage for Sony, that if they could make this movie work, that it would be some kind of a bargaining chip to open up more lines of these crossovers, and it looks like Sony wants more of their characters to be in the MCU. Now, there's a couple of other things I want to talk about here. I'll try to be quick. I like to keep the news pretty short. So I think this is very weird when you consider what we heard about from the footage seen at San Diego Comic-Con. That footage was apparently very hard R, with limbs being cut off, with heads being bitten off, and different things like that. And apparently the crowd went nuts for it. But then you fast forward and you see the official trailer released by Sony. They cut before the head is bitten off. It looks to be a lot lighter. There's some levity, some jokes, turd in the wind and all that. And so it's kind of confusing here. Like, what is Sony's plan? Did they always want it to be PG-13? Were they hard R until the projections came in? Is this a move because of the Marvel situation? Who really knows? At the end of the day, it does look like the film is taking sort of a turn and will now be a little bit lighter. And I'm very curious what people think about that out there there on the internet. This news also comes on the heels of reports that Sony is developing a Silk movie, a Jackpot movie, and a Night Watch movie. They're continuing to try to build this Sony Marvel universe or whatever it is, and I really think this all has to do with their arrangement with Marvel Studios. And so that's the news. Venom's going to be PG-13 in all likelihood for one of the reasons that I talked about. What do all of you think about this? You think it's a good movie? You think this is terrible? Are you losing faith in the Venom movie like I am, or are you still on Team Tom Hardy, Team Venom? Whatever you are thinking, let us know in the comment section below. That is going to do it for today's show. It's Friday. You made it through the work week. I hope you enjoyed the news this week. And if you like this show, if you like the channel and what we're doing here at the Den of Nerds, consider checking us out on Patreon. It is an awesome way to support the channel and the movement. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.